very good, Ron. KD6VWS and the early check-ins. W6DQ. And let's see, I'm hitting a little hard there. Let's back off a little bit. And good evening to Sharon. And I heard you on here a little bit ago. And glad you guys were able to get the everything up and running there. And I hear Glenn, who I haven't heard on here, I don't think, before. W6IRD. Awesome, dude. Glad to have you aboard here tonight. So we'll have more to say later. And Lisa will be here probably a little bit before 8 o'clock. She's still in the house wrapping up things. We just finished dinner. So Ron, I'll send it back over to you, and thank you for getting us on the list. KD6VWS from W6DQ.
Yeah, okay, Dennis. Yeah, sounds beautiful on that grid. Must be on the KW1. And yeah, I've got Lisa written down, so we'll be looking forward to hearing her. Okay, let's see. Next on the list, I've got WA6JUS, John.
Thank you, Ron. Well, you're in Alpha 15, 16, whatever it is. We sure did good today. We ran the voice at the theater set. Concurrent with the folk group Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, yes. At Mission Bay Yacht Club. And afterwards, got one of the guys to play to it. I had 16 all-time great hits of Film and Roll, so I was playing that through the system as people came in before the gathering at 12:30, and then I put the bell in again. But anyway, hot coffee, 86VWA. That's W6JUS.
Good copy. And fine business on your gig there. Voice the theater, getting rained on, getting packed up before your equipment gets soaked. That's a good deal. Okay. Next up, we got KD6IYC there. Go ahead, KD6VWS.
AC6USM.
I'll be hanging out
Okay, Larry, well said, Larry. Yeah, I missed you not Monday night, but hey, you were in a good cause. Sorry I couldn't. No excuse you for being absent. Okay. 6, ALC, good. Yeah, man, I haven't heard you in a long time because I can't get on the Tuesday night net anymore, but I know somebody's glad to hear you. KM6QQU, Mike is out there listening, so why don't you take a transmission there, Glenn? K86VWS.
About 40 over. Out about 50 watts to it's been a couple of months since I
Okay, Glenn, WB6ROC, KD6BWS. Yeah, well, that race is sounding great. Good audio. So I'm glad you're participating with us tonight. So that's fantastic. Okay, let's see if we have anybody else wants to get on the early Wednesday night AMI list. Come now, KD6VWS.
WJ6W.
Okay, Gabe, let me get you written down. So, well, go ahead there and make a transmission there, Dave. WJ6W, KD6VWS.
Well, thank you, Ron. Thank you very much. Yeah, we've been listening for a few minutes here, and it seems like it's going to be quite a gathering for the night following spring, and of course Sharon hosting, so that'll be very nice. Looking forward to that. Actually, I'm recording all this, as I did last night for the Video Starting Roundtable. I recorded all this. There'll be a record of it, and I talked to Sharon today and told her, or asked her if it'd be all right to record it. She said fantastic. She looked forward to having a copy to listen to in the future. So that's all for now, and we'll be standing by for a really nice net tonight, I'm sure. KD6VWS, WJ6W.
Okay, Dave, WJ6W, KD6VWS. Well, yeah, that'll be great. Recording it, that's real good, Dave. Yeah, wow, we're all looking forward to 8 o'clock. That's for sure. All right, do we have anybody else who wants to call on the phone and listen to my list from there? Say hi to Glenn, KM6QQU, KD6BWS.
KD6VWS, KM6QQU. Yeah, WB6RLC, KM6QQU. Good hearing you. I'm still using that scrubbing bubbles tricks on all these nasty radios I work religiously. For those of you Glenn's the one that administered my ham radio test to me. So it's kind of another nostalgic piece out here. All right, back over to you, Ron. K6VWS, KM6QQ.
Yeah, okay, Mike. KM6QQU, KD6VWS. Yeah, I thought it'd be neat for you to be able to talk to, let Glenn know there. Yeah, when you got your license. You're a happy camper. And yeah, I used the scrubbing bubbles too. That was one of the best advices I ever got, was cleaning chassis and radios with scrubbing bubbles. So Glenn, you get a gold cup on that one. All right, so do we have anybody else that wants to get on the early Wednesday night AMI list tonight? Sharon K6IRD is going to be running the net. So if you want to get on the list, come now, KD6VWS. Alright, nothing heard, so we'll go back to the phone. Let's see, 60J. Are you back yet? KD6BWS?
Yeah, we just got in the driver's seat here. Yeah, Diane's not feeling too well, so she's not gonna. I'll see how she is, see if I can get her back to the microphone, but she just got to about a half hour ago. Good conversation. Well, I'm here. Mom, go ahead.
Okay, do you want me to go ahead and give you the list that I found? Jay, go ahead.
Anybody hearing me?
Go ahead, Sharon. Yeah.
Okay, well now, in the past, I always took the list from Europe, so I would like to take it, but Jay, as a backup, I would like for you to also take it, so that I can make sure I get them all. So if you don't mind, Vaughn, would you mind giving me the list also? And then Jay will take I had to put Bonnie down, she was on my lap. So I'll go ahead and take them from you, Vaughn, and Jay, you take them also. So go ahead, Vaughn, you can take it. Tell me all this on.
Okay, Sharon. Of course, I've got you at the top of the list. And I've got Jeff and Steve on the list. K6IRZ and K6SYD. And then we have Jen, NY6L, NY6LJ. Then we have Kevin, WA6JKN, WA6JKN, Kevin. And John, N9AMI checked him, but he's already made his transmission, but I just thought I'd mention it. And then you can put me on there, KD6VWS, KD6VWS Ron. And we have Bill, WA6LJR, WA6LJR, Bill. Then we have Mike, KM6QQU, KM6QQU, Mike. Then we have Adam, KD6TKX, KD6TKX, Andy. Then we have Larry, W6WUH, W6WUH, Larry. Then we have Vaughn, K6ZTA, K6ZTA, Vaughn. And we have Dennis, W6DQ, W6DQ, Dennis. Then we have Lisa, KF6QNG, KF6QNG, Lisa. Then we have W6JUS. W6JUS. I have Larry, KN6IYC, KN6IYC, Larry. And then the last person I have on the list is Glenn, WB6RLC. WB6RLC, Glenn. So there you go, Sharon. That's the list I have. K6IRD, KD6BWS.
Ron, thank you very much. I think I got everybody here, so we can, again, none of us three that are in this shop right now at the helm, we don't have a watch, so I don't even know what time it is. Is it time to start the net? It sounds like it must be.
No, it's about 19 minutes to 8, so I guess Joe can go ahead and pick up some more earlies if you would like, Sharon.
Well, that sounds fine with me. I mean, it's not 8 o'clock, and so what else are we going to do with our time? I mean, I could talk to everybody, but I'd like to have everyone on board if I'm going to say anything, other than I'm really, really happy to be net control tonight, be back on the air. Just couldn't do it with Wayne. He couldn't make it out here on Wednesday night to get things set up and to be able to stay up. He had to be in the recliner in a somewhat half-lying position with the recliner because his back was giving him so much pain. So unfortunately, my sweetheart was in a lot of pain before he went, but he's in no pain any longer, and for that I'm grateful. But for the loss of something that is part of me. Now, the only time I cry, fellas, is when I'm talking about him. So I clear up real quick, but I do have those moments when I'm talking about him. I love him and I miss him. So I'll put myself together real quick, and again, I can take the time and I can tell you a little bit about him and his last few months or a year or whatever. But I don't want to be crying, so talking about him is hard for me. I'm a much more controlled person if I don't talk about him. But I can listen about him and be very, very happy and very proud of the things that I hear about him. Thinking that, gee, I didn't know that other people knew how gifted he was and what a wonderful person, very humble, but just because he is who he is, and so he never thought that he was any different than anybody. Any smarter, any this, any that. He just never thought that. And so if he ever did get compliments, he was very thankful, but he just couldn't quite imagine that they were talking about him. But we all know the genius that he was, and so I'm going to miss him so much. I have something I can tell that will make me kind of laugh too, and that is Sarah Heil, Bob Heil's wife. Sarah Heil called me because Bob and Sarah were good friends of ours, and when they were out here, they never missed calling us so we could get together. And when we would go back their area, we stayed with them several times in their home in Missouri. But now they left and went back home in Illinois, where Sarah still lives. But that's where Sharon, I think, born and raised, and Bob was there, and of course that's where his company is. But anyway, she called me, and she expressed her condolences and all. But then she said, I looked up to heaven, and I said, Bob, you go find Wayne. Go find Wayne, and you two just sit around and you just talk ham radio. And it made me laugh. And I thought, oh gosh, when those two were talking, there was nothing to be left out. They talked about ham radio and every aspect and all that. The other one was I got a call from both our friends who live back in Annapolis, Maryland. Hap. I don't remember his call. He's just always been Hap to me. But anyway, he retired from the Navy as a captain. His father was an admiral. He not only went to the Navy school. Something I'm not sure if it's correct name, but anyway. And then after he graduated, we had a show up there. But when he was in for any length of time, he was teaching at the academy, the Naval Academy. And he always used to tease Wayne about Wayne being in the Coast Guard, and of course he was the big, proud Navy man. And Wayne always used to say to him, you know something, Hap, when the weather would get really rough, the Navy heads into shore. But that's when the Coast Guard goes out. So you remember that, because if you get out there and you get stranded, you know who's going to come and rescue you. And they would just go on teasing each other all the time. So those are some funny stories that have come back up and related to me, and it just made me happy to hear them, because I remember them always conversing back and forth about Navy versus Coast Guard. And that's most of everything I can remember right now, but I'm just babbling on, trying to take up some time. I think I'll just open up and see if anybody has any questions of me or wants to say anything. So, whomever, take it over.
WA9IRD would like to share.
Well, you certainly can, Bob. So I'm writing your name down. And Paul, WA9JID. Bob, also, you have been a good friend and keeping in touch, and also, I just want to say thank you on the air, so let everybody know how much I appreciate you. Back over to whomever.
Sharon K6IRD WJ6W.
Oh, that's right, Dave. I heard you checked in. I guess we just didn't get you on. Okay, there we go. Dave. Name and call. Logged in. I'm sure you got that too, Jay. So anyway, I'll again open it up to anybody who would like to say anything.
Sorry about that, Dave. You were at the top of the next list, and I didn't hook up there. Yeah. Anybody wants to check in, come now. Well, Sharon, yeah, Wayne was the master of his craft, and you guys have got friends all over the country, I'm sure. So you're going to get a lot of support, and I love that. What's his name? With Wayne up there in heaven. I forgot his name now. That she mentioned that's appropriate. I'm sure they're up there, got their ham radios on.
That's Bob Heil, Ron. Bob Heil. Oh, and thanks, Nancy, for saying hi to me. I appreciate that. So again, back over to whoever.
Yeah, checked up on Diane, so she's in the living room there relaxing with the doggies. So she's relaxing for now, but like I mentioned last night at the visit site that Wayne set me aside years ago up at the AMI gathering there at George and Miriam's place, and we got talking about some issues with my son and my daughter, Natasha. And, well, he was like giving me some very frank, straight up advice, like a fatherly love towards me, and I'll never forget that. You know, he just was a straight shooter. I mean, his whole life it is. You know, it helped me through some very difficult times. So I just wanted to share that, not only with you, Sharon, but with everybody in Y6L Hysteria.
Well, Wayne, he he loved children, and he just loved being able to give good advice, and his advice was always very good. I was always so proud of him for being able to do that and explain things as well as he did, with compassion, but with knowledge too. And you felt like you were being talked to by somebody who either understood, had been there, done that, or whatever. He was just an exceptional person in all ways. And Ron, you're right. Right after it happened, Dennis, he put the news out, and as a result of a lot of people were texting him back with all kinds of beautiful accolades in every way. And it was just so special to be able to read them all. And Dennis said that he would print them all out, and I would have them one day just to be able to look them over. But then I heard from somebody else, and they would say that they got a lot of texts or calls about the same things, or some of the things that some of the people were saying, and it is truly amazing. Not amazing for me to know about these things, because I knew all his capabilities, but to have other people to express those same things, and with compassion and love, really, it was just special. But I did, and I still am getting calls from everywhere, and every single one of them have said, if there's anything that I can do for you, Sharon, just let me know, and I will do that. And even Kevin today, he said to me, he says, you know, Sharon, I might be 400 miles away, but I know how to get down there, and I would have no problem doing it. So you just let me know if you need anything. That's the kind of thing, and I know I would feel the same way about all of you, that you would be able to help me. But really, Wayne set me up so well, and I've always been capable of doing so much. I was always the financier of the house, so I took care of all that, all the bills, all the telephone calls, all the arrangements for somebody to come out and do some project for us. I'd make about four different appointments and have them come, and then we'd choose the one that we wanted. Of course, Wayne was able to know what needed to be done, and he'd listen to how they would talk as to whether or not they were just BSing me or us. And so it was just really good. We had a great partnership in that way. But we were always together. We did everything together, and yeah, I'm really going to miss him. But he was very proud to feel that he had done such a good job to set me up financially for the rest of my life, and I love that man. Well, anyway, what time is it now?
It's just, let's see, about 8 minutes to 8, Sharon, go ahead.
Well, goodness gracious, I've got that much time to talk. Well, the boy back and still in 8 minutes worth of time. That's me. I've always been a talker since I was a young girl. The difference was that my brain was probably a lot sharper, a lot quicker, and I used to talk so fast. And people would say, you talk so fast. What is it? How do you know what to talk about or whatever? It was my brain had so much of the information that I wanted to disseminate that I was talking fast so I could get to the next subject that my brain was thinking about. So I just went on and on and on. I met one girl in school. Actually, it was in grammar school, but we went through kindergarten all the way up to high school together. But I remember we used to walk partway home together. She lived in between my house and the school. So we'd always walk home together, and she would depart at her location. Well, anyway, she was equal in fast talk. So one day I can remember we both decided we were going to see who could talk the fastest. And let me tell you, that would have been something to record and listen to. You probably wouldn't have made out a word being said because I was talking just 90 miles an hour, and so was she. We just laughed and laughed and laughed after we were through that one. So I have always been a talker, and I'm still doing the same thing. But I just don't talk as fast. Once I started working, I realized that I needed to slow myself down so that people could understand what I was saying to them. So this is a little bit of happiness and sharing of secrets or whatever that you might want to call it, but it's all part of our life, and I'm just so glad I had it. Wayne and I met 62 years ago last month, and I met him 3 weeks after I lost my son in a drowning accident, when I was so destitute because I was going through a divorce with my first husband, and 2 other men died along with my son. And it was a very sad time. But 3 weeks later I met him, and he put like an invisible cloak of protection around me. And we started dating, and from that point on, we were together every single night and every day during the weekends and all that. We married 3.5 months later, and 61, almost 62 years from November that we've been married. And I have never regretted one single day of that. The man has taken care of me so well. His love and his generosity with me has just been indescribable, but always so cherished. So I hope you all are understanding how sad it is for me to lose him, but I have had the best. And so with that, I think I'll turn it over to you, Vaughn, and you can decide when it's time for me to start the net. I'll turn it over to you, Vaughn.
Okay, Sharon. K6IRD, 86 VWS. Yeah, that's wonderful, man. 62 years of love, friendship, and companionship, and doing everything together. And you filled in, like you say, all the, the bills and paperwork stuff, and he did the rest. He did the radio and all the helping AMering people and helping the hams. I'm sure besides ham radio, he's probably helped a lot of people. And yeah. And you're the #1 hostess. Because the first time I met you, up at San Ynez, and the first person I met was you. You were sitting there, with the giving out raffle tickets and stuff. And so, you are the hostess. So, all right, well, we carry on. It's getting almost 5 minutes to 8. Is there anyone else that wants to get on the Wednesday night AMI net coming out? 86 VWS.
Well, I don't think that we're going to be breaking any laws if I go ahead and start the net now. So why don't we do just that? Let me get my sheet with the preamble on it. And we'll see if anything has changed. Actually, since I've been off for so long, and even before when I was last on, if you recall, since Dale Gagnon quit, I don't have the update except that Jeff was telling me that, I think referring to the website. So I don't remember the website now. I used to know it offhand, but by heart, as they say, but I don't now. So with that, I will get to that part, and I'll just say I have to refer that to somebody that can give it to you. Maybe AMI can do that. I'm sure that he might know, but if anybody else does, you please give it to them. So with that, the AMI preamble is, as always, I'd like to say good evening and welcome to the Wednesday night West Coast AMI net. And this net meets every Wednesday night at 8 Pacific Standard Time on 3870. And a welcome to all listeners to tonight's net. I used to hear a lot of the listeners that would always let me know that they were listening in. Of course, they can't transmit, they're not ham, but they always love listening in. So if we've got you out there that are just listening in, welcome. You can become a member of Amplitude Modulation International, but it's not required. And if you'd like to join, you will receive a certificate and your own personal AMI number. And you can do so by sending, I think it's $3 to the following. And that's where I will have to get somebody to give the website. Okay? But AM International. Not club. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Okay, your AMI net control tonight is K6IRD. And my name is Sharon, and my QPH is Orange. It's Orange, California for anybody out of state. And my AMI number is 1525-1525. When I call you, please give your name, QPH, make, model of your equipment, and AMI number if you have one. Let me know if you have any needs or sale items. And lastly, let me know if you'd like to be included in the roundtable following the close of tonight's net. And I'm assuming that we still have the roundtable. Anyway, I will periodically call for check-ins, so please be patient. And now let's take a minute to tune up to 3870.
Whiskey 6 Delta Quebec.
AM. NY 3870 AM. NY 60 Hesperia, California.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. And so we're going to get started right now. Okay, first I have on the list is WA6LJR, Bill. So go ahead and take it, Bill.
All right, thank you, Sharon. We met once. I stopped by your house. Wayne was nice enough. He didn't even know. He gave me a microphone for a system I was trying to, AM system, trying to get on the air. But as we talked about Ormonde Road and his travels there and his friends, and I want to thank you and him for that. I'll let it go to the next person, WA6LJR. I think it goes over to KM6QQU.
No, actually it goes to J, NY6L. Go ahead, Jay. This is K6IRD, Net Control.
Okay, thank you very much there, Sharon. Well, what a joy to hear you out here. And all these great ham operators that check in. And like it's one big family. It's so wonderful. And thank you, Jeff and Steve, who helped Sharon get the transmitter up and running and sounding just great, fully modulated carrier signal. And it's a very, very strong signal up here in the high desert of Hesperia. But at times 30 to 35 dB nice clear signal. All right, my goodness, where do I begin? But looking forward to seeing Sharon from Santa Barbara this Saturday. Yes, Diane is coming along, and Warren 76 team is coming along too. And we all want to hug your neck and tell that we love you, and we just, I just thought of something. Let me dig up some pictures, and I think I have a video of some years back when you and Wayne were doing a raffle there up in Santa Ynez. So let me do some digging and see if I can get something put together to bring up. So back to you there, Sharon. K6IRD and Y6L Hesperia.
Okay, Jay, that sounds really great. I hope you can find some of that stuff. In fact, Mike, ZSR, he asked me for any pictures that I would have that would kind of take Wayne back, and we could all see some of the things that he did or who he was or whatever was happening. Which reminds me, I just so enjoyed Bill just telling me that one little story about Wayne and what he did for them, and that's another thing that I've heard from a lot of the hams, telling me some of the stories of Wayne and what he did for them. Even Kevin was telling me a real special one this afternoon, and he might tell that story tonight too when he's on. But everybody has a story of him. So I'm taking up some pictures. I know that Mike that he said he found a picture of Wayne. I don't know if it was listed as a portrait or what, but he had it blown up to a large-size picture, and is going to have that on the table for anybody that has pictures that they'd like to bring to show of Wayne and whatever he was doing at the time. So if anybody who is planning on going to Mount OSR's barbecue on Saturday, bring some pictures and bring stories, because I would love to hear the stories. There's things about that man that I'd never heard, and it would just warm me to more than I could tell you to hear the stories about him. So speaking of Kevin, you're up next. WA6JKN, I think it's A6. Anyway, go ahead and take it, Kevin.
Okay, Sharon. Man, oh man alive, you sound really, really wonderful. Okay, let me just make some adjustments here. You know how you have to adjust things, look at the instrumentation, make sure everything is okay. Alright. And I probably should check to see if I'm on frequency. Yep, I'm close. It's one thing about the KW1, it doesn't seem to drift off too far from the previous week. Alright, just real quickly, I'm on the Collins KW1 and the 75A4, and want to thank Jeff and Steve for getting things fired up there and dialed in. You sound really strong. Audio sounds great, Sharon. Okay, a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories. The one from the other night that I was sharing with you, I think most of the folks have already heard it. And I'll just do a summary here, and that is I purchased the Collins KW Sugar one from Wayne many years ago, and that was upon a request. I told him I was looking for one, and he found one that was in, it had recently been restored by Howard Mills. I said, that's fine. And so, but he told me that it doesn't work. It has a problem. And, but I know you're going to be able to take care of it, being an old Collins guy. I said, yep. As long as all the parts are there, it should be no problem. I'll be able to get through it, and I did. But that says a lot. That's a testament to Wayne selling ham radio equipment with integrity, and that's who Wayne is. That's what defines him. He has integrity. And if you take a look at some of the stuff he purchased and stuff that he's repaired or worked on, you can see right away the care, the detail that went into his work. Even the bundling of the wires using lacing string, not shrink tubing. He was very, very careful in making sure that he replicated what was intended by the manufacturer. And the one thing I know is all the stuff I've purchased that was in working order, and I won't go through the list, but I will say this, it's still working today. Still working today. Now getting back to the KW Sugar 1, we had a discussion about, boy, it's really kind of a shame that the KW Sugar 1 came out being only a 1,000-watt DC input transmitter, because as everyone knows today, they changed it to 1,500 watts. Peak envelope power. So I had a discussion about that with Wayne, and Wayne clued me in on, I'm going to call it a trick. I don't want to get into the technical details of it, but I will say that he had a solution. And once he explained it, I nodded my head, And the more I thought about it, I said, I'm not doing that. I don't have the courage to do that. And the reason is because what was required was to throw more plate fluid on the 4CX250Bs. And he tried to explain to me that don't worry about that, because the design, if you have all the service ports, then you should be okay. All the components around that PA tube should be okay. And I said, you're right, they're good. But what about the tube? He said, put a megger on it. And that will tell you if you have a manufactured tube that is of high quality and will be able to handle the additional plate voltage. So I did that, and I convinced myself that maybe Wayne's right. This will work. So I developed some courage in the recent days after his passing. I said, okay, Wayne, I'm going to do it, knowing that there was a small possibility that it would blow up the rig, at least the finals and the components around it, the grid circuit, and cathode circuit, everything. Maybe even the filament circuit. So I went ahead and I implemented his idea, and making the Collins KW Sugar 1 a full legal limit 1500 watt transmitter. And I only did this a few days ago. I put it on the air. I put it on the single sideband, the vintage single sideband net, and there it was, full legal limit. I took from the regular power, and I threw the additional plate voltage on it, and bingo! I saw the bird watt meter go up to, well, it was just a tad bit over 1500 watts on the peak meter. And I was waiting for it to blow up, blow a fuse, smoke, and it didn't during the entire transmission. So that was kind of my tribute to Wayne. He was right. So thank you, Wayne, and I know he's smiling up there that Kevin finally got the courage to try it. He told me it would work. He was right. Okay, let me finish this up. I love you, Wayne, and we're going to meet again. Sharon, I love you too. And I was thinking about the old saying earlier today about what ham radio operators say affectionately about vintage radios, and that is their love for things that glow in the dark. So last night I was outside, the dogs were barking, and I said, okay, let's go find out what's going on. And I happened to look up, and there they were, stars. Things that glow in the, the dark. And I said, okay, Wayne, which one are you? Well, I never figured that out last night. But it occurred to me that things also can glow during the day. So, there you have it. That's Wayne. He not only glowed during the night, he glowed during the day. That's why I call him my dear friend. He was one of a kind. And Wayne, I'm going to say one more thing, and that is, thank you for being born. Because if you weren't born, there would be a whole bunch of transmitters out there, probably in the junkyard. but you kept them alive. And there's a lot of us that thank you for that. So, Sharon, big hugs. And stay strong. So back she comes. K6IRD, WA6 Jacks, Kings, and Nines.
Okay, Skip, we got you down here. What was I going to say, Kevin? Thank you very much. And, yeah, he was a special guy. Okay, next up is Vaughn, K6VWS. Go ahead and take it, Vaughn.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. K6IRD, KD6VWS, down here in Joshua. And, yeah. Well, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years ago, I was telling Wayne, I knew that mechanical cable for my 32S1 transmitter. He says, oh, I've got one. And he sent it to me for a very reasonable price. I go, hey, man, that's not very much money for one house. He said, oh, I got it. And so I got my S stuff working. And then I'll let Mike KM6QQU tell you about when the night time and visited you and Wayne. That was back in May of 2020 during the middle of the pandemic. And we're on the freeway and there's no traffic. I couldn't believe it. On the 10, and all the freeways, no traffic. It was like, wow. But anyway, that was such an enjoyable day that we had over there at you and Wayne's house. Had a lovely day. And I'll let Mike tell you about, all the work that we helped Mike out on his 28, SQ28. So, man, I'm so happy that Jeff and Steve are over there helping you. The transmitter you're on just sounds beautiful. Just beautiful. Huge signal, great modulation. Just so happy to hear your voice, Sharon. So, anyway, I'm on the Valiant early version, 50-watt carrier, beat it with a Turner Plus 3 microphone, listening on the NC125, and 2 multipliers, scope hooked up, and a W4 Drake watt meter, food kit, SA2040, digital antenna tuner, coin set to the infed long wire, about 25 feet. Quarter wave counterpoint is off the shield, and no one to swap at the round table, but I will be listening through, and thank you again, Sharon, for being on the air tonight and sharing with us. So, K6IRD, KD6VWS.
No, and I very well still remember that day you came here, and I just attached myself to you. I really did enjoy that day, and I've been saying to you often, I wish you would come back and visit us. I wish you would come back and visit us. I look forward to seeing you again, but where you live is a little bit away, and it's just kind of hard to get here. But we all had such a good time this day, and just fell in love with you, darling. So I hope that maybe someday that you'll be out this way and you'll just think to stop by and say hello. By the way, gentlemen, those all of you have been on thus far, which is Bill, Jay, Kevin, and Ron. You didn't say anything about the round table. Is there any one of you guys that has already been on that would like to be on the round table later? Hearing nothing, I guess not. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know. Let's move on here. And next up is KM6QQU, Mike. So over to you, Mike. This is K6IRD Net Control.
IRD, this is KM6QQU. AMI number is 1758. And, we're sounding absolutely great over there tonight, Sharon. And like Ron was saying, that was a great visit we had. I was having issues with the estimator on my ASX. Wayne dissected it like a surgeon and took it all apart and figured out what was going on with it, put it all back together, worked like a champ, and helped me out with a couple other aspects of it. The speaker I got was from him too. Of course, he helped me out with a few other projects I've always had questions on, calling out to the gang, and he can always pop in, let me know, his 2 cents on it. His 2 cents was fun. So, it's definitely great hearing you out there. I'm also on the with a Jared +3 microphone and using my SX28 tonight. Full-wave loop antenna being tuned in with the SA2060A heat antenna tuner. No on the round table, no on the swamp, I will be listening through. So back to you, Sharon. K6IRD, KM6QQU.
Okay, Mike, thanks a lot. And we're just hopefully moving along here. Next up is Andy, K6IRD. Hi, Andy.
Hey Sharon, good to hear you tonight. K6IRD and the Wednesday night AMI group. This is KD6TKX Andy at Curry Mountain, California. Well, my deepest condolences, Sharon, and it's so great to hear you on the air tonight. I just have to say, I think it would be very difficult, but I think it shows a lot of character. So it's great to hear you tonight, and everyone else too. I guess I only had that one afternoon, unfortunately, but I remember it well. There was a lot of stuff packed into it, and the best part for me was lunch with you and Wayne and the other folks we were with, and hearing Wayne tell a story about getting into radio as a young man, a real young man, and building a radio and getting it working, and it was just it was fascinating. And also that day, I was working on a project at the time, which was a operating desk for a radio, Navy radio operator. And of course, Wayne, being a retired Coast Guard radio operator, knew all about it. And before I left that day, he laid a Underwood mill that he had found, I guess, at a store in town and had it refurbished. And said, "Here, you put this in your local operating position desk, and that's where it belongs." So it's here, it's beautiful, and I always think about you guys when I see it. So that's my memory of Wayne. I wish I was around him, but we had so much fun that day that it seems like it was more than a day, but it was great. So thanks, Wayne, and thank you, Sharon. It's really neat that ham radio has been a great hobby, but the best part is the people that we get to cross paths with, who normally we probably wouldn't. We're all from such different backgrounds and different areas. So thanks to ham radio for bringing us together. It's kind of a cool family to be part of. No swap, no round table. Tonight I'm also running the KW1 with a 75A4. And great to hear everyone tonight. Love hearing the stories about Wayne. And there you go. And also, Ron, thank you for taking the earlies. Back to you, Sharon. K6IRD and the group. This is KD6TKX.
Okay, Andy, thank you very much. And I still think about when we were with the Paris Pals and had lunch together. It was just a delight to meet you. And then continuing on with the AMI net, so that I could keep talking to you and everything. But it's been so long since I've been on the net that so many things that I have forgotten. Like calls, I forgot the person's name, or I had to have the fellows behind me here to match it up. I said, yeah, of course I did. Yeah, of course. But I'll get back into it here. But anyway, next up is Jeff, who is so far away that I don't know if I'm going to be able to hear him. KK6IRD, and take it.
All right, very good there, Sharon. K6IRD with the Wednesday night AM International Group. This is KK6IRZ. Jeff, not in Chino tonight, down here in Orange, hanging out with Net Control, as well as with Steve, KF6SYD, and just really enjoying being able to come down here and watch Sharon have fun doing the net, even on her normal night. It worked out to be. Didn't realize that until right before the net. I went, wow, it is the third week. My AM number is 1809, and we've been just kind of hanging out here. Hopefully we got everything dialed in for it. Looks like everything's been modulating well and doing okay over here, so pretty happy. Going to try to leave it in a state where from now on she can get on by herself and won't have to have anybody come on, so she can just pick and choose the times that she would like to come and enjoy a little bit of radio. I didn't know Wayne and Sharon for a very long time, but I certainly have enjoyed my time of knowing them. Been down here on numerous occasions, just hanging out with Wayne, a man with a plethora of information and background, and it was fun to talk radios and enjoy sitting around down here and just enjoying the hobby and the conversations of radio and past fun that we've all had doing it. So with that said, I'm going to keep it right on going, which I think up next is Steve, isn't it? So I might as well just pass it over to him because he's right here anyway. And Steve, KF6SYD, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. KF6SYD. Steve in Orange tonight on the transmitter of K6IRD. I'm here petting Bailey on her head. She's in her chair, and I'll scoot her back over next to Sharon where she belongs as soon as I'm done. It's so satisfying to be able to sit here with Sharon and Bailey and watch Sharon enjoy talking with all of you. It means a lot to her, and it means a lot to me as well. So everyone have a good evening, and Sharon, back over to Net Control.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Jeff. These guys have been wonderful to get me back on the air. And when I was first, it was suggested by Dennis, thank you, about my doing the net tonight. And I just thought I would love to get back on and hear all of you guys and talking and just be part of the AMI group. A very wonderful, fabulous group, and I'm so proud to be part of it. And even more proud because you have given me the honor of being Net Control. So that is super, super great. Anyway, next up I'd like to turn it over to Larry, W6WUH. Go ahead and take it, Larry. This is K6IRD Net Control.
Okay, Sharon. K6IRD on the illustrious group. W6WUH. Well, I have nothing to contribute about Wayne since I really didn't know him. Only as Net Control here, and that's about it. But I'm certainly learning an awful lot listening to everyone else and the great legacy that he left behind. And it does a cockles of my heart good to know that Sharon is surrounded by a large extended family that's just a step forward and come forward to help her, and will continue to do so. So that's the only real wealth we have, and you're a very wealthy person. K6IRD, W6WUH.
Okay, Larry, thank you. And yes, I am a very lucky woman. Looks like I have up next is Vaughn, K6ZTA. Go ahead and take this and say hi to Nancy for me, like I always tell you. Thank you, okay.
Will do. Yeah, K6IRD, K6ZTA. Very good, Sharon, very cool. And yeah, Nancy has been thinking about you, and we're going to look forward to seeing you this weekend on Saturday. So, we're just humming along here, trying to keep our head above water. And didn't know Wayne very well, or didn't interact with him very much. And so I kind of passed on that. The time that the barbecue up there where Wayne was sitting on the sofa and everybody was sitting around listening to him, and that was great. Yeah. All right. So the Andrews 1, Victor Oscar November, and in Woodland Hills, AMI number 1757. I think it's right. Yeah, that sounds right. And we're using the Viking 2, 100 watts a carrier, SX96 receiver, and the antenna tuner is the 2060. The microphone is the D104. The antenna is an inverted V at 35 feet. So, I think I'll keep it short and keep it rolling here. There's so many people on. The list goes longer and longer. Okay. No on the swap, no on the round table. And 73's there to you. 88's there to you, Sharon. And same from Nancy. K6IRD, K6ZTA.
Thank you, Ron. And I'm glad to hear that you're going to be up there Saturday. So it's going to be a big crowd. But we went through a few years here now without having that barbecue due to Auntie's little setback. So it's going to be wonderful. It's a real place to see Auntie and see all of you. So we'll do our thing on Saturday. Let's see, next up is, well, looky here, W6. I always keep saying Delta Queen. How about W6 Dairy Queen? Dennis, come on, Dev. K6IRD, next control.
Well, thank you, Sharon, K6IRD, and the Wednesday night AMI West Coast Net, W6DQ here, out in Inyokern, and nice day out here today. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, it is so good to hear you on here. We've been yakking for the last, I don't know how many days we've been together, but boy, it's really great to hear you on the radio again. That is just so wonderful. It was so good to be down there with you and Wayne, and to be able to stay there with you and help out. Man, oh man. And I don't even know where to begin. I don't even think I can. Wayne was such a special person to me, and as somebody else said about extended family, yeah, you and Wayne were our family, and it's been tough. But I'm glad, like I say, that we were there with you, Sharon, and I'm so glad that you were able to get on the air. I send my thanks to Jeff and Steve down there, and glad they were able to get everything up and running. Yeah, a lot of people have had their hands in that setup there, getting everything going, and there's a little bit of a little bit of me in there too, that helping Wayne out with that. But wow. Well, we are running the KW1 tonight. I'm on the KW1. Lisa and I, and the usual audio chain. I won't go through all the details, but suffice to say it's the same old stuff, same old antenna, using the same old receivers, the R390A and the 51S1. And just everybody sounds so good tonight. Conditions are just perfect. And Sharon, you just sound wonderful on that 820. That D2, that is just it's a beast of a transmitter. One of these days I've got to get mine going. This one came from Pete, K5TZ, the one that I have here. We'll get it on the air someday, hopefully. Let's see, my AMI number is 1685, and we're not going to stick around. I don't think we're going to stick around for the roundtable. It's going to be late, and we both have a lot. We've had so much on our plates the last couple of days. We're looking forward to seeing you up at Mike and Angie's. We're looking forward to seeing everybody up at Mike and Angie's, and looking forward to being back down there in the next week or so to see you again. So let's see, what else can I say? I was trying to think of some stories. You know, Sharon, I will share one story that always cracked me up, and it was not when I first met you. I'd known you for a while. But we were down at, I'd gone down to the, and Glenn will remember this, one of the ham sets that the Desert Rats had there in Palm Springs. And I'd driven down there with a friend of mine, a couple friends of mine. We'd come down from Orange County to go to the event. And wandering around down there, I ran into you and Wayne. And so you had asked me if I was there by myself or if I'd have with some friends, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm with the guy over there. That's Dick Bremer, WB6DNX. My friend Dick. He drove down, and we all came along with him. And I said, you asked me who he was. I said, he's the guy over there with the beard. And you promptly walked over to the wrong guy. It was another guy with the beard, and walked up to him and said, "Hi, Dick. How you doing? Long time no see." And I'm just sitting over there, kind of shaking my head, and I'm looking at Wayne. And I said to him something along the lines of, "Does she always do this?" He says, "Oh yeah, this is normal." And we're over there trying to get your attention to tell you that it's the wrong guy. It was another guy with a beard that happened to have walked in front of my friend Dick, and then we finally redirected you over to Dick Bremer. And I think he was just as surprised too. He had no clue who you were, which was the whole point. It was brilliant. But that was one of those moments that you just never ever forget. Wow, that was wonderful, and it was always a pleasure to see you both and to be able to hang out with you and do all the things that we've done over the years. So, Sharon, all the best to you, 73 and 88, and 88 to you, and my gosh, I'm gonna miss Wayne a whole bunch. And we'll see you at Santa Barbara. So back over to you. K6IRD from W6DQ.
Oh, thank you, Dennis. And what he was saying is that he and Lisa arrived on Thursday. I brought him home from the hospital from the emergency on Saturday, and this is the following Thursday. And he was almost eligible. He wasn't talking very well. So anyhow, but anyway, they were there, and then they decided to spend the night with us, and it ended up with him passing the following day. That they ended up staying with me until Monday. They left to go home to Ridgecrest on Monday. So they were so helpful, so very helpful. In fact, it was Lisa who got up to go over and check on Wayne and see how he was doing. And she slapped me and got me over there, and I realized he wasn't breathing, and he had just time. But he heard me over there at the table with not just Lisa and Dennis, but some other friends of mine that showed up. A friend named Tony and her husband Victor, and Rita and her sister Lisa. So we were all there. They went out and bought a bunch of cherries and crackers and watermelon, and we just sat there, and I poured some wine for both of us. My husband told us that we'd have a glass of wine. And we got to talking, and Rita is so funny. She always has something that she says so straight face, no emphasis or anything, and she tells these jokes or tells things about, she creates things and makes everybody laugh. So I'm sitting there and I'm laughing, carrying on. And I do really believe that Wayne heard, well, he knew they were there because I was told by the hospice people that he could hear us. He could hear me talk to him. That's the last thing that goes is a hearing for the people. They're in their pre-death coma, but they can't move anything. So that's all gone, but their hearing is still there. And he heard us all having a good time, of which they had come in the morning time and saw that he was about ready to go. And they kissed him, told him they loved him, everything. And certainly I'm doing that all morning long, but we sat down to have a late 3 o'clock lunch. And when Lisa walked over, she called me over, and that's when I realized that he had just passed. So Dennis and Lisa have been unbelievably marvelous to me, and I so thank the both of you. And that reminds me, Dennis, is that you said that Lisa's in the house and she won't be able to get on, or if she's there by you and wants to get on.
Oh, she's right here and ready to go.
Well, then put that pretty girl on. So let's see, is that KF6IRD? Well, you'll have your call. Go ahead, Lisa. Okay, thanks, Sharon. Yes, it's KF6IRD, Kilo Foxtrot 6 Quebec November Golf. And my AMI number is 1766. We have nothing to buy, sell, or trade. Well, it's been a tough week in more ways than one, so just take a licking and keep on ticking, I guess. You know, I've always said I'm kind of like one of those old, they were plastic, what do you call it, clowns, and they had sand in the bottom, and you punch them as a kid, and they always come up because the sand, you know, brings them back up, and that's what life feels like sometimes. But we managed to keep going, and I know with friends' help and guidance, Sharon, that you'll make it through. And you know, it's testament to the strong person that you are and the love that you and shared. And that kind of bond is one in a lifetime thing, and you know, just incredible gift. So with that, I'm going to send it back to you. K6IRD from KF6IRD. Okay, Lisa. I love you, darling. Wonderful. And I will see you soon, because Dennis is going to be, because he has been and is continuing, but he's going to be also a big help to me in helping to dispose of Wayne's equipment. So I'll be seeing a lot of both Dennis and Lisa in the future. Next up is down south, John, WA6JUS. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Sharon. This is WA6IRD, and I'm very tired. I wanted to stay so I could just say hi. We had very good activity this day. Yacht club, and it rained on the end, and packing up is tiring. But thanks for being on. Back to you.
Okay, John, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I can't right now. I just the best I could do.
Well, John, thank you very much for being on, and thank you for your thoughts and your condolences. I know what you're feeling. Believe me, I know. Okay, we'll go on next to Larry, KM6, IYC. Okay, Larry, go ahead and take it. It's K6IRD net control.
said earlier that I really can't speak for that company. I've only, been able to be on it for the last 6 years. Unfortunately, you running it, and of course, I totally enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you, Lord. That's very, very nice. Yeah, this ham community, the AMI, our own little nest of people here, and then just the ham community itself, are so close, and they have just given us, and Wayne is listening, I know he has, given us so much love and care and affection and admiration for them, and that just makes me feel so bad. I'm with family, and there's nothing better than that. So that's what makes me happy. And I know he's with us tonight. He's very, very proud of the guys, Steve and Jeff, that come out here and help get my radio, and this is what Wayne always did. So they're being my Wayne, my chief engineer, as I always called him. So now they're my chief engineers. So they're going to accept it, set things up, tell me what to do, and so I just come out here myself and start things up and be on, continuing on anyway. So I'm looking forward to that. Next up is somebody that I know and haven't seen for a long time. Way back in Dayton, Ohio. Glenn, W6IRD. Go ahead and take it, Glenn.
One here, W6IRD, Cathedral City. My voice is a little off. Actually, tonight I'm running a J2 FPGS 5000G, obviously in the AMer. IO gold line microphone up to a off-the-head dipole. Yeah, Sharon, I couldn't miss it. I had to make sure I stopped by and said hi and give them a lot of hugs. So that isn't bad. Not much on the area. I'm in there too much. But I have no air I'd always enjoy sitting there on the couch with Jennifer or wherever it is, chatting with you and Wayne. And sometimes Wayne is out doing things I just have to I've been to the cafe and Wayne for some time. I always get barbecues and stuff like that. So very good. India has because I lived in Ireland.
Okay, Glenn, thanks, hon, very, very much, and I look forward to seeing you again. And I know we will. It's something I was going to mention to everyone, and I keep forgetting until I made myself a note, so I wasn't supposed to do it. And that is to tell you all that George W6IRD and his wife Marion are going to be there on Saturday. And as you know, George had a stroke, and it set him back, but he went through a lot of rehabilitation and everything, and he sounds good. He just has some of the typical side effects of a stroke. However, his left side is a little bit weak and all that. But thank God they're going to be there. And then after we all leave Mike's and Auntie's home, but I get to go spend the evening with them so that I can come home fresh on Sunday morning, which is really delightful. Okay, next up is a special person in my life. That's Bob, W6IRD. Go ahead and take it, Bob. K6IRD, let's control.
Okay, Sharon K6IRD and the group. It's WA9JIB. Bob over here in Louisiana. Wonderful to hear you on tonight, Sharon. And our dear friend Lee. Your lieutenants are doing a very good job down there, so give a pat on the back for me. And just a real joy to hear you on tonight. So I'm running my usual AM station, D104 microphone, my Italian version, about 145 watts of stereo, and that goes on up to dipole, inverted B, which hangs off a 35-foot mast. Right up on the D104 there for a second. And the so I'm going to say a few more words, but first I'm going to have a guest here in my shack say hi to you, Sharon. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to get first I never got Sheree on the radio, Sharon. As I sent an email, I think on Saturday, I heard of Wayne's passing, for some reason I wanted to go look at the amateur's code. In the world, ham radio, we've all seen this code. It goes back to 1927 when we started out. I haven't looked at it in a long time. And I looked at it and said, number one in the code, the amateur is considerate. The amateur is loyal. I'm not going to read the whole thing. References loyalty, encouragement, support, all over the today. Amateur is friendly and kind, assistant, cooperation, and consideration for the interests of others. These are marks of the amateur spirit. Amateur is balanced. Radio is a hobby, never allows it to interfere with other duties to home, job, school, community, etc. And amateur is patriotic. For a better example, somebody who represented the code of an amateur radio operator, your dude waiting for me. With that, I will say, let's see, no MI number, no buy-sell swap, and I think I'll make it one and done, and then what I wanted to say, and we'll look forward to back to that, K6IRD, that's WA9JIB, with Sheree in the shack. We'll be back over to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Sheree, for those nice, kind words of yours. I'm looking forward to seeing both of you up there on Saturday. Which reminds me, I wanted to tell you, Wayne had been a ham since, let's see, he was 17 years old when he joined the service, and he got out in 65. But he had built all his first radio that he actually could hear KSI. The first time he heard something come back on this radio that he had made, he was absolutely thrilled to death. You all have had similar stories to tell from when you were a young man and doing what you did to just do electronics, to do some things like that. Well, that's forgiven. But anyway, I don't know if I think when he ran the service, it was because he wanted to be a radio operator, and the Coast Guard was the only branch that promised him he could go to radio operator school. And so that's what he did. But when he got out, I think is when he got his license. I have to really look at his license see when it was first issued to him. But my telling you this is that he made a lot of contacts over the years in all of the countries or entities, because let's say an island, that's considered a country, or as far as ARRL or whatever, but it actually is not, but they call it them all entities. He got on and he was making a lot of entries, but a lot of them had been deleted over the years. But then when I got my license in 04, but I got hooked on gas and talking all over the world. And even my first time on the air, really, other than a few contacts here in the States, I must have worked way over 100 entities, and I was just hooked. I became, what was my main thing was being a DXer. That's what Bob does, and so he and I had that connection there with working for countries. Well, what I'm getting around to telling you about Wayne is that well to the last, he started really realizing that he had like 2 or 3 countries or entities that he had not worked yet, and so they were on. A lot of them that were French islands. The French are very selfish about allowing their entities, wherever that it was, on some little remote point or whatever. But they finally opened up, and he was able to make one of the contacts then, as did I. And then now he's down to 2. And then when Kosovo came on, both he and I were able to work Kosovo, so we got our credit. We got the QSL card, and then you send them off to EM check, and you send them off to AMer, and you get paid for it. So they're building up and building up. Because I was so active on the air working DX, that I actually achieved 301 confirmed entities. So that, when I tell that to most men, hams, they say, oh my God, Sharon, I've only got 210, or something like 100 and whatever countries it is, or entities. Excuse me if you're saying entities, or countries, but that's what I tend to call them, but they are entities. So anyway, in doing that, he had one left to work. Well, it turns out that there was a young man, I guess he was stationed in this one place, with a hand, by himself. So rather than make contact, actual verbal contact on the air, the only way you can work it is ST8. Well, that's just done. A contact is made by your computer. You don't even have to be at home. And you set it up for that one station, and you actually then can pick up. They might hear that his computer will hear your computer, and then they can find the contact and all that. Now he and I do too, hate ST8, but he knew that if he didn't work it, there was no way he'd ever make that last country. A friend up on the hill here where we are, up higher, he told me, Wayne, I can set my computer up in your car, and you can make it. So he said, come on up the hill, you'll feel better just being here when the contact is finally made. So we went up there, and sure enough, the call came in on the computer, and then it was confirmed by Wayne, W6IRD, and here we go. So immediately we sent off the QSL card to that person, and he got his back. We had it checked, we sent it off, but ARRL screwed up. They only sent back the paperwork, said he was -1. They found out that was the one I discussed in Kosovo, of which he broke the list. So a friend of ours who had more influence, and Wayne was getting so weak and tired that he couldn't get on the door. So I said, took everything and sent it back in. ALL checked it, it was confirmed, and so they called him on the phone and said, we want to know that you did make it, and now you are on the honor roll, which is number one. Number one is to get on the honor roll. There aren't that many people who have achieved that high achievement. And so they asked him, do you want a plaque or do you want a certificate? And Wayne says, I want a plaque. Well, that plaque arrived, I think it was 2 days before he expired, and he was so happy about that. So I want to share with you my story of him being able to get that one last country that meant so much to him to be on the honor roll. More than, I won't say more than anything, because I was always his more than anything. He really always put me to the top. Just like I said, ham radio was his second love. And so I never had to worry about him running off with another woman or anything. And he wasn't going to run off with a ham radio equipment. There was no way he was going to do that. So anyway, that's why I was able to have him all of his life. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dave, WJ6W. It's yours, Dave, and thank you for letting me tell you the story, everyone. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, how about that? You hate FT8, but it's the one that got Wayne over the top to achieve the honor roll. So, wow. That's a great story. Thanks for telling that. Well, let's see. My wife and I, Christina, have known you and Wayne for probably about 25 years. And I think that's about as long as I've known anybody continuously, or, been associated with anybody continuously. And thinking back to just so many experiences, but I'll go over a couple things. Back when I was starting and getting my 20V2 broadcast transmitter modified for 400-foot meters here, I had instructions on how to do it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had instructions on how to do it. And I was going along, and I mentioned to Wayne that I needed to make a new RF scope for the final in the 20V2 because the broadcast one isn't suitable for HF. And he said, oh, I'll make you one. And I said, oh, well, okay. So I gave him the specifications. I didn't think much about it. I figured, well, I'll probably have to make my own, and I'm not very good mechanically and fabricating things. So before long, in the mail here, I got one from Wayne, and it just fit exactly into the broadcast band run. If I'd have made it, there would have been a lot of trial by error. His scope is perfectly made right out of the factory. Very easy one with but, it was a small thing. And helped me get that transmitter in gear. A couple other things. There's been many times we've been together with a kind of core group we had for a number of years. If you remember, the group was NI62 with Brian and his wife Pascal, K6ZSR, Mike and Angie, George, of course, and Marion, WA68CX, Jay Simmons, KO6NM, Mike and Kay, and if you remember, we had, I think 2 parties up at Brian, NI62 place. One was a birthday party, as I remember, and you remember the King Arthur and the Titanic tea party. It was a whole lot of fun, of course. It was with a group, but you and Wayne were a big part of it there. And we had a 4th of July party here once with that group, and forgetting if I've forgotten to somebody anyway, that was a day that was hot here in Tarzana, which is the other side. We had a good time anyway. Cooled off in the pool and had a good time. thought I'd bring up was memories. Hopefully they've been some good memories. All the opposite though. Most of them, but I was there for a few. And many occasions when you're out, I can't remember them all. So anyway, we're on this lane, but we have some great memories of you and mine. And with that, I'll send it back to you. I'm not walking around people here. K6IRD, WG67.
Oh, Dave, as you described each of those, I can remember everything about them. It just seemed like it was just so wonderful. And then, of course, the picture that you took that was in electric radio. And of course, a lot of the guys on the air don't belong to that Collins group and publishes the electric radio. But Wayne and I had a picture taken, and we were on the front cover. He was delivering a tray of food to me while I was on the air, being net control for this AMI net at Dave's home, and he brought me in his Christine, she made a dessert, and so he brought me in on a tray that's full prepared with the dessert and a cup of coffee. So he comes in with this tray in his hand, and I guess Dave thought that was going to be such a great picture, so he snapped a picture of Wayne doing that and me on the air, and it was just perfect. And when you see it on it, I think I'll bring up a copy of that to Saturday and put it on the table and let you see it. And it was really a funny one, but it also corresponded with something that was in, well, Dave will know what was in, but it looked like almost the same thing. A guy was on the air on ham radio, and his wife was bringing him a tray with something on it. So it was very, very apropos. Well, anyway, those are the fun things that happen, and we've had so many stories with so many people, and it's just been a wonderful life and an absolutely fantastic life because Wayne, he treated me like I was a princess every day of my life. And he always assured me that anything that I wanted or needed, I had it. He just loved buying me things and just treating me like a lady, loving me and telling me every day how pretty I am and how much he loved me. So what more could any woman ask for? So I got it all, and now I have only my memories, but they are with me. Last I have on my list is Skip, K6LGL, little green light. You're still with us after the home
I think I was the host of the net for a while now. And that goes back, to the days of eventually my modulation transformer developed the original low radio with internal shorts. So Wayne came up with a Collins 200 watt plus modulation transformer. The AMI get-togethers on various other occasions. They're just delightful. So, hey, the important thing is that we have a community of people who share things in common and share focus and sound. With an emphasis on the electrons. The electrons flowing in a vacuum. And these things have a certain attachment to for that 72, hope to see you there in Santa Barbara at night in Angel Space on Saturday. Good luck. And the rain being forecast for tomorrow. Nothing can be around for the round table. Always a nice memory.
Okay, Skip, thank you very much. Well, Skip was the last one on the list, so that means, I guess, that we are through with tonight's net. But before we go, I'm looking so forward to seeing most of you, which I'm pleased to hear that you are planning on going to Mike's and Andrew's home on Saturday, which I'll get to see you all there. And we'll have lots of hugs and just we'll just have a wonderful time. And all that makes it easier for me. But as you know, if I start talking about him, I just start crying because he's so much a part of me. Anyway, fellas, I thank you all for your stories, and I know there are more, and I'd love to hear any and all of them. And I hope you didn't mind my stories of him, and keeping the memory going through this whole night of our sweet man, Wayne. So, with that, I will say that no one has signed up for the round table. So I guess that we'll just officially close this tonight and not turn it over to anybody, but just say goodnight. And with that, a very good night to you all. Sleep well and safe drive up to Santa Barbara. I'll see you there. Good night, everyone.